the therapy, as we referred to it, then in the basement of the Smith Family Living Center on the BYU campus. BYU security would catch people like in compromising positions or whatever, and they had the choice of either being kicked out of school and their families called and informed about what they had done, or they could undergo this therapy. And so we had quite a few people who were going through it. And then there were other people who felt like so much guilt over their sexuality, or had been promised that if they underwent this therapy, that they'd be able to marry and have children, and they would just be turned away. Of course, they had to have the desire to change. Therefore, if the therapy failed, then it was always their fault because they didn't have enough desire to change. They would come in, usually 3 times a week. I would be behind a glassed one-way mirror, quite a large mirror. I'd be sitting behind there, and they would be on the other side of that, and they had the choice. They could look at pornographic magazines, or we would show videos up on the wall, and we would tape electrodes to their groin, and about 3 or 4 inches down from that on their thigh. Then we would also tape up on their chest. And then we had another machine that would monitor their breathing and their heart rate. We had a dial that we turned, and that would determine the amount of current that would go into the shock. And we would wait until we saw that they were getting aroused, and then we would push a button, and the voltage would go into the wire. And from the reaction that I saw them, and also the muscle spasms that went on, I'm sure that it was painful. And then after we did that, then we would the movies would automatically switch over, and we would show a man and a woman having sex, and we would play very soothing music in the background to try and get the mind to relate to that. When we got into the higher voltage with the people who had been doing it longer, you could see burn marks on the skin, and quite often they would also throw up during the therapy. After undergoing that kind of pain over a period of a couple of months, anybody would admit that they had completely changed. What they did was they kept records for as long as the people were at BYU. And then after they left BYU, there was no records kept to see what kind of success rate they had. And so, and the statistics from just the BYU, I mean, these people were lying. They were desperate to get their degree and to get out of that situation. They had been blackmailed into that situation in the first place. But no, we never changed anyone from gay to straight. We had several people who committed suicide during the therapy. We had 3 different people who hung themselves in the Harris Fine Arts Center from the balcony. If you die of a suicide, I mean, you're going to be punished eternally anyway. And if you die while you're still homosexual, you're going to be punished eternally anyway.